All right, good evening, makers. Welcome back. Hope everybody's doing good. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. My name is Dave, and I'm joined by Jake as well this evening.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good evening.
There's the Jake cam. That's
Yep.
looking pretty good. And we're both here at the desk doing another live stream. I feel like it's been a little bit since at least I've been in the saddle.
The first one of the new year.
The first one of the new year. So happy New Year's, everybody. This is awesome. And cheers to that.
We've got Warren in the chat. We also have Jesse. Said Happy New Year 2022. Wishing you much success. Thanks so much, Jesse. Good to have you here. Hey, Warren. Also got Mike in the chat from Milledgeville, Georgia. Mike, it's good to have you.
Nice. Yeah, welcome everybody. Warren, Jesse, Mike, Javier. Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, it's great to be here, and thanks so much for joining us. It's awesome to do the live streams, and it's even better when you guys say hey in the chat, so please do not hold back. We do this all for the interaction and the community aspect of it, so glad you're here. So,
George said, hey, good evening from Tampa.
Tampa.
Good to have you here, George.
This is cool. We got a good group this evening.
Yeah.
From all over.
Everybody's here for the special announcement.
The special announcement. Yeah, what else? Before we get to the special announcement, what else do we have going on, Jake?
Oh, boy. Put me on the spot.
Yeah, can you think of anything?
Well, it's new year, new connectors, new builds. We've got some exciting things happening. And that's kind of what's happening tonight. One of the things we're really excited about is what's being talked about tonight.
Yeah.
We have Raymond and Don in the chat.
From South Carolina.
From Inman, South Carolina, not too far at all from us.
Yeah, welcome.
Kelly is in the chat as well. Happy New Year, Kelly.
Right. Yeah, and we've got 2021 was a great year. Thanks for all the support, everybody. We did a lot of cool things, and this year we've got a lot planned. We've got a lot of new connectors planned. We got a lot of new things that we're hoping to do and make Maker Pipe even better and build them with conduit even better. And that's kind of start off by saying, like, that's really our mission, is to make it easier for you guys to finish your project, however that may be. And, we're focusing on conduit, ordinary materials, whether it be hacks or, with our connectors or whatever it may be. It really is making it easier for you guys to pull off and solve that problem or finish that project or do that custom thing that you wanted to do.
Right. Yeah, that's a perfect way to say it. Ordinary materials, you go get some stuff from Home Depot or Lowe's and then pick up some connectors from Maker Pipe and, make that thing.
And I feel like that, for us personally, that hits right at home. Like, that's who we are as far as makers go, and we share that with you guys. So it's really cool to see like-minded people look at the same things, and that's what we feel like Maker Pipe has always been.
Got Axel in the chat.
For. Speaking of which, Axel, great to have you here. Happy New Year. So yeah, with all that said, and Jake hears it from me all the time that we try to make it easier for you guys to pull off your builds and build with conduit. And I really can't believe this, but in the 5 years that we've done this, we have only done plans, building instructions, like once.
The sling chair.
The sling chair. And the sling chair was something that, let's see if I can bring it up.
It should be on the build ideas page.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, let's see if we can. But the sling chair was the one. I'm clicking, but it's not moving. Oh, here we go.
Internet's moving kind of slow.
Yeah, it's
this evening.
The live stream is pulling it all. But the sling chair is literally the only thing we've ever done where we did a step-by-step instructions. There I am, a few years younger, sitting in the sling chair. It was like our installment as we went around from Maker Faire to Maker Faire. And let me see if I can find a better picture of it. We had so many people sit in the sling chair. This was one person that joined us at the New York Maker Faire, if the picture would ever pull up. And there she is. And it was crazy that so many people sat in that chair that it was black. Like the fabric was dirty by the end of the day. Definitely not her, just a lot of people. There's Kelly sitting in the sling chair and in the garage.
I've never even seen the sling chair or been in the sling chair.
Yeah, it was a cool build.
That was like OG days. That was before Jake.
That was before Jake. Double Dave. There's Kelly sitting in the sling chair. But anyway, this was the only plans we ever put out in our whole history, and kind of feel like that's silly, like it's been a long overdue to try and help people build something. We take it for granted how creative the community is. You guys are wildly creative and really a bunch of self-starters and problem solvers, and because really to build with MakerPipe, you've got to go from just bare connectors, right? And then kind of add experience and add your design thinking and what you've seen from other people in the community, and then arrive at a solution. And for a lot of people in the community, you guys can do that. And but we've heard over the years that someone's not quite sure how to make that step, or not quite sure how to put these puzzle pieces together to come up and solve their problem. So I think that's been a gap, and we haven't really addressed it. And, that's kind of what we're talking about tonight.
They have an idea. Like, I think it's a pretty clear split between the two. So you can look at a connector, you like to tinker, so you just ordered 48, you order the maker kit, and you have all these T's, and you just build and change and modify. But then there's some people that know exactly what they want, they know what problem they're trying to solve, but they don't quite know how to just get from a single connector, look at the product pages with a connector on it, and then plan out a project. And that's kind of where the minis came from, was like another step to try to help people see that kind of connection, no pun intended, and, work with the connectors and plan out a build like that.
Right. It is no easy feat. But, look at the outcome. I mean, even despite that, I scroll through the community sometimes, and hats off to everybody in the community, because the hacks, the builds, they're just wildly creative and really awesome. It's amazing, and it is truly a pleasure of what we do to see these things. There's a build by Javier, Axel, all you guys in the community and here tonight. You've done countless builds. So, Raymond, and not to mention everyone else in the chat that's contributed, to those builds. Mm-hmm. So, in thinking about that, we were like, okay, we know we need some more instructions, right? How-tos, plans, that kind of thing. But it didn't feel right coming just from us. And I think that was one of the things that we were struggling with a lot. So,
real quick, sorry. I was going to say a big part of that is not only that coming from us is it doesn't feel right in some cases, but we're also not experts across the field and all of the amazing and creative hobbies that you guys are in, like, kayaking and the amazing stuff that Axel does and the gardening and things like that. We're not experts. So for us to make plans or, kind of come up with a kit or come up with a plan for something may not be the most beneficial to somebody out there trying to do something or trying to solve that build.
Like Javier's drying mangoes, right?
I've never dried mango seeds.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I know what a mango seed looks like.
Well, Javier posted a couple pictures if they'd pull up. But, it's sure. right? We aren't the experts. Yeah, well said, Jake. So that is really where this concept is coming from, and the concept is that we want to even further make available the great ideas from the community in community kits. And this is an idea where folks that have already solved a problem, that have already come up with a great solution on how to use ordinary materials to solve a problem, make a cool thing, have it custom for their needs, that they can pass that on and show other people what their build was all about, and then how to give them a leg up to solve that problem. And that's what the idea of community kits and kind of our big announcement of what we're launching this Saturday and starting is really all about. Because think about like any build that you've done or any big project that you've tried to tackle, and starting off that process can be daunting, even for the most seasoned maker, engineer, designer, right? Like having something to work off of and having someone go before you can really make life a lot easier, and then improve the final project as well, the final output. So that's really the concept of what we're talking about.
And we've seen that a lot with hacks. Like I always go back to the simulator. Like the racing simulator was always something I wanted to make, but had no idea how to attach the monitors to the frame. That was the one thing I could never get past. And then seeing Matthew in the community when he shared the monitor mounting hack, it clicked, and it was like, okay, now I know exactly what to do. But to go even a step further, if Matthew built a racing simulator and it was exactly what I was after, and he made the kit that included the monitor mount hack and everything like that in it, then that would have been a step above of another thing for the idea that I had, another helpful resource for the idea that I had.
Yeah. So, and you guys have been great about engaging in the community. Like we couldn't do it without you. It's awesome. And then posting your builds on the website and all the communication that you've done. It's just been tremendous to see. And we really couldn't ask for too much more than a couple photos. But, we've also had folks that have reached out to us that, wanted to give more advice or more help to someone following their footsteps. And a number of people have done that, and in their own ways too. Like some people have channels and put out videos like Axel. Others have posted it on the community in different places, and they're shared it on their different social media. And then we've had folks, send us in instructions. Like we've got a couple of these over the past few years where people spent a lot of time to outline exactly what their build was and how they went about it.
When they saw the need, I think you're going to pull up Renato's tractor canopy. He needed this canopy for his tractor, and it just didn't exist. Just for his specific, I think it's an RK24 if I remember correctly.
RK25, Rural King 25 tractor. Yep, I got it pulled up.
For that tractor, there was no solution, and so once he figured out how to solve it, he decided to just document and talk about why he was looking for the solution, and then he made the instructions for the build.
Right. Yeah, and here's roughly what he sent in. There's his RK24, and it has this, if you're not familiar with it, it has this rollover protection right here. And Renato's out there, in the sun in the summer, and it's getting a lot of sun. So, of course, you could buy one of these shade canopies, but he took it upon himself to build it and was really proud of the solution and thought, hey, this could be for someone with this tractor or a similar tractor. They might want to create something very similar. So he went through and outlined the build process. He did all these great diagrams, even down how he's cutting the conduit with a circular saw with an abrasive disc. A lot of details that he outlined, how he attached it to the rollover bar, which I thought was cool because it was PVC pipe, and then you slid the whole thing in because it had to be a quick disconnect to get into his garage. But yeah, he went through the trouble of making all of these documents and sent it in to us. And if you're us, you're thinking, well, Renato, he did this awesome build. He went through all this trouble to document it. Like, we have to be good stewards of that information and pass it on, because there could be someone else looking to solve this problem as well. So it was a really cool example, and he went into detail with all the photos and really went above and beyond, but also what components he was using, cut list, about his project with links and everything, a link to his tractor, really sort of a detailed how-to. And like I was saying, we've gotten a few of these over the years. So what's better than us trying to communicate a solution is having Renato, who did the work, he built it, he designed it, and then to pass that on. So that's the idea behind community kits.
And once we get those instructions, we're able to make it easy for somebody to, kind of one click, get all of the connectors that they need to build whatever it is, whatever that thing is. Do you have a page pulled up?
Yeah, let me pull up a page, because I think anybody that's built will agree that a lot of times the just the putting the project together, buying all the things and all the figuring out your connectors, which the minis have helped a lot with, but doing all that work is a step in the process that's pretty significant. So here's what community kits is going to start off looking like. And this is the community kit for Renato's DIY tractor canopy. And our goal here is to communicate that information and allow you to download for free all the great information that Renato did, highlight some of the photos and build process, his end result, and then make it easy to get exactly that sort of thing. Like, if you want to build exactly what Renato did or get really close, it's going to be easy to buy the kit. And, we're here to sell connectors. We manufacture the connectors. We sell the connectors. So we thought it would be a cool thing to do. And we pick, if you order from AcrePipe, like, we're basically kitting your order as you ordered it, right? Like, if you ordered 10 of these and 2 of these and 1 of those, that's how we're going to pull it and put it in a box and send it to you. So it's really not any harder to make a tractor canopy kit and send that out to somebody than, a normal order.
And it's just all an effort to make it easy for somebody, if they're looking for that solution, to be able to just get it really easily. They just one click, they can get the instructions, they can get them for free and manually add the connectors if they want to customize it, or they can get the instructions included with the kit and just kind of make it as simple as possible for somebody.
Yeah, here's another one that we have. We're going to start this off on Saturday with a handful of these. But, really and truly, if you guys are tuning in tonight and you've done a build and feel like you want to communicate what you did, you're proud of what you did, you have some details on somebody that might be following in your footsteps or want to help that, then definitely we welcome more kits and more input. We want to absolutely take advantage of that and also make new kits as we go. This is just a starting point. So Jake's worked really hard. Jake, you want to kind of tell people how they can do that and what the process is?
Right. So we try to make it as simple as possible. So you can make your own instructions. And it's kind of hard if you've finished a build and you have to go back and try to recreate instructions. But if you want to do that, you can. And you don't have to be super detailed, but just try to give helpful information. Think about the things that would have been helpful to you when you were building for the first time. And you can do like Renato did and make your own document instructions. But we did make a simple template. That's a Word document. Download it, use it in Google Docs or something like that. And you can add basically a cut list, a material list, the tools needed, the cost of the build, and add some helpful photos and things in there. And then, add steps for each of the steps of the build. And then my favorite section is the bottom. We have the about the builder section. So we encourage you, these are community kits for a reason. We encourage you to fill it out, put an about you section, and kind of fill it out and tell people about yourself and why you created the build in the first place and kind of what you imagined it and what you needed it to be. So we have that. You can download that template in the description. And starting Saturday, we'll have a page where you can see kind of details about the kits as a whole and download the instruction template. But it is in the description now as well. And we're also open to make instructions for you. So like Axel's got a great YouTube channel. He does a lot of cool things on there. And he sent in a couple of videos, tutorials that he did, and gave me permission to kind of create a kit and instructions based on that video that he did. And he had, such helpful steps and everything in that video that it was really easy to do. And, we're happy to make the instructions if you just want to document while you're building. Snap a few photos and include some, materials and things like that. We're happy to make the instructions as well.
Right. And we started off this brainstorming about community kits with special apps for the website and upload your photos and
built into the community,
which we might get to. Hopefully, if this is popular and people find this helpful, we'll get there. But for now, a document is, and I think it'll do the trick, right? You got your main things like tools required, list of materials, cut list, step by step. That's really a good start, I think, for most people. But we kind of had real high hopes for the technology side of it. But it still might come, depending on how it is.
Raymond asked, what if the build involves a custom part that has been 3D printed? That's a good question.
Right. Yeah, we've had a lot of discussion about this, about if it's not conduit, if it's not connectors or accessories that we currently have in our shop, how do we handle that? So how do we handle that, Jake?
Well, we'd love to work with other people. So, for example, what's one of the builds? So one of the builds is Axel's, or one of the kits is Axel's dog bed that he made that uses a Coolaroo replaceable dog cover. It's like a cover that has pipes. You can slide the pipes into it, and it's a great build.
I'm impressed you remember that. Coolaroo.
Yeah, it's an easy to remember name, Coolaroo.
I wouldn't remember it.
But we would love to work with Coolaroo and make this kit where somebody could get everything all in one place, and that's something that we would have an open invitation to whoever it may be that's that's out there, any companies that want to do that and want to make it easy for somebody to do that. But as of right now, it's mostly going to be just the connectors that we have and the accessories that we have on the site that you can find. In some of the builds, if they're small enough and we can ship them, we'll include conduit. It'll have an option so people can add conduit to it.
Yeah, how would that be? What do you guys think about that? Actually shipping conduit cut for these kits. We'll have to see how that goes. That's something that we haven't ever done. In fact, we specifically thought, okay, you buy the conduit locally, right? We don't want to get involved with that, but people have asked a lot about, making it easier, that maybe it's something that we do in the future.
And to answer Raymond's exact questions,
we should get
involves.
Right. We should hone in on what Raymond is asking there.
Right. So in the instructions, there's a section for the materials listed, and at the very least, we'll put the Thingiverse link there. But again, these are designed because we want to make it really easy for somebody to finish the project idea that they have. So, if we need to help find a 3D, because I don't know if you know, but you can go locally to libraries. Some libraries will let you print 3D printers. There's also services online that you can do it, or if it's something that we need to 3D print or somebody else in the community wants to 3D print and send to the person, because that's what it's all about, is we're just trying to make it as easy as possible for somebody. Mm. So not to discourage, solutions that include a custom 3D printed part or some other material that we don't currently have, or something like that. We want to make it as easy as possible. So we're happy to help find a source for those things, or whatever we can do to make it as easy as possible.
How about car seats?
Car seats, yeah.
Are we going to ship car seats in stock? Old
A $10 Jeep seat from Facebook Marketplace.
What was it? It was Jeep? Okay.
Yeah, it was a Jeep Cherokee. It was $10 on the Facebook Marketplace.
Car seat not included in the racing simulator kit. But
Right.
I think, digital files for a 3D printed item, great idea. We'll definitely provide those, right?
Mhm.
Thingiverse makes a good platform for doing that. In fact, I think about we did a bicycle cart in the Kickstarter. I mean, this is way back 5 years ago. And I did a custom 3D printed bracket to hold mountain bike wheels onto conduit. And I can't tell you how many times we've printed that and then how many times we've just sent the file off.
Mhm.
So like that kind of tells me that there's a real need that for people to have those details. We just got to do a good thing about providing them.
Delta 4212 says, "Are you going to make a round or rectangle floor flange for 3/4 inch GMT?"
Yeah. I
Very soon.
Very soon. Thanks for the question, Delta 41212. So the floor flange has been something that's been missing for a long time, and of course we did a video where and off of the community, like Axel did this and a few other community members where you could use a threaded pipe flange with some accessories to pull off that floor flange, but they kind of get expensive. They're $5-6. You have to hack it. It's not great. So we've been working on two different parts. One, a rectangle floor flange with 4 bolts, and then it bolts onto EMT with a special little twist that we added to that we think is cool and it's going to be super helpful. We've got the dies all done. We've got we're just honing in the process a little bit. There's some tweaks that we need to make before we can release it. So that's coming. And then we've also got a flange attachment for our adjustable angle that allow you to do a flange with an adjustable angle like that. So that's coming as well. We're working on that. Thanks for that question.
Yes, we've got those on the agenda next few weeks, I would say. Next month, few weeks, something like that.
Hopefully.
We'll be pretty close, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for the question. We've also got Raymond says, a kit for Jake's Sparky could include the cut conduit. That's a good idea for a community kit.
Where's Sparky?
He's back there. He's just in the corner. He's kind of hiding.
Oh, okay.
He's out of frame.
He's off camera.
So yeah, that's a good community kit idea. We've also got, I'm so sorry, I'm going to mispronounce this. Shaviva? Shaviva. I'm so sorry for that pronunciation. But thanks for the comment. I'm so new to this, but I think conduit should be bought locally, but I'd like more detailed instructions available instead of just pics of projects. And yeah, that's kind of where the idea came from. Just because we share a lot of builds. We do roundups of builds. We share builds on social media. And a lot of times people want to make it and they don't quite know how. So that's definitely where the kind of community kits are going to come in. We'd love to be able to post a build on social media and say, look at this awesome build from Javier. You can make it too. There's a link to the instructions. You can make it. So that's definitely what the community kits will be.
Right. And, that's good to hear, really, that you've got that feedback, because that's where we're thinking that it's going to be helpful for people. And, Javier mentions sell it with or without the conduit. I mean,
definitely.
To be 100% honest, I don't know how the providing conduit and if people are even going to take advantage of that. Because I thought, people just want to buy their own conduit. But I was having a conversation with a community member, and they actually sell things with conduit and as like a stand. It was this Target system. And, he was saying the majority of his customers, they just buy the whole kit, even with cut conduit, and he sells it with the brackets or not. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, a lot of these things you try and you see if people are into, and you go from there. But we figured, why not give it a shot and offer it up to people?
Right. It all goes back to making it as easy as possible to finish something.
Right.
So,
And like what we're thinking on the community kits and how that'll work is you'll have a bunch of different kits that you can look. There'll be some of the pictures and things like that, and then you've got this just download button where you hit that, and it's going to be a PDF, right, Jake?
it'll be a PDF. It is on almost all the other ones. I haven't finished adding the measurements from the simulator yet, so that's why it's still a Word document, because
Okay.
I got to update the measurements.
But like, this is a beach cart that.
It's from Axel.
Oh, this is Axel beach cart.
Yep.
Nice, awesome. Thanks, Axel, for that. And you click on it, you get the instructions, and then, here you go with the beach cart, and you've got the PDF there. So even if you just buy the connectors a la carte, or you just use it for inspiration.
Or you already have the connectors laying around.
That's a great point, right? I mean, like one of the cool things about MakerPipe, we think, is you can reuse it from project to project. You build a beach cart, and then it's the winter, and you need a heat pump shield or a generator, whatever it may be, right? You can reuse that.
Axel said small kits could come pre-cut, but shipping could make larger projects very expensive. Yeah, that was kind of our thinking too. We're going to try it with small kits first, and it's definitely something that could be for larger kits too if people like the idea. But we're going to try it with smaller kits first. So yeah, thanks for that, Axel. Delta 41212 said yes in all caps on the floor flange. Christian said a 3/4 inch EMT to threaded iron pipe flange accessory would work as well. That's a cool idea. Making kind of a adapter so it clamps onto conduit and then threads into the flange.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And then Raymond asked, would there be a charge for the instructions? So I think that brings up a good point. We're not charging extra for the kits. Like, we're not marking up the connectors or, charging for the instructions. We're really just trying to make it as easy as possible for somebody to finish a project. And so we're just kind of compiling everything into a simple page for people. And we're not charging extra. We're not charging for the instructions. Because, if you want to download the instructions for free and then, as Dave was saying, manually pick the parts and the accessories and everything like that, you can totally do that. We're just making this kind of compiled product page, I guess you'd call it, just so it's easy for somebody if they just want to go ahead. They know what they want. They want to get all the connectors, add to cart, they get the instructions, everything like that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no secret to it. We manufacture connectors and sell connectors. That's our whole business. So we hope you buy the connectors and think they're a good solution and think they're helpful. But the information should be free, and we try and do that at every chance. I never really understood that, paying for plans. I mean, I know it takes a lot of effort to make plans, but we want the plans to be free, because people that are creating these are doing it out of their free time, and their kind of the goodness of their maker spirit, I would say.
Yeah, I would feel bad if somebody from the community made instructions and then we
Yeah.
took those and started charging for them. I would feel terrible about that.
Right. Yeah. That's not what we're about, for sure. And I know you didn't mean that, Raymond, but no charge for instructions. And we'd like to hear from you guys too about how they get delivered. Like, PDFs for sure. You can download them from the website. Would you like to see a printed out copy in the package as well? That might be helpful. Some of us are old school. We still like to print stuff out and hold it. What's your take, Jake?
I think digital. I mean, being able to look at my phone and say, "Oh, I got the PDF here," and I just scroll through and build it. I think would be great. But also print instructions would be helpful too, I think. So I think both. I think both ways. It just kind of depends what people want, or they can also print their own.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like working on motorcycles in my spare time, and I had this old Triumph motorcycle, 1970 Triumph, that I worked on for a while, and I had the binder of the original service thing. Like you flip through the pages and it was old and it was super cool. And I loved putting that on my workbench and then flipping through it. It just doesn't feel the same if I've got my laptop open and I'm scrolling through looking for torque specs.
Right. We got a few comments. We've got let's see. Delta 4 wants to know, when making shims out of PVC pipe, how can a person cut the PVC lengthwise so it looks straight and not all crooked and jagged?
So we cut a lot of shims. A lot of our shims are PEX tubing, which are really close to PVC. And we use a variety of methods. The best one, I don't know if it's the best one, but if you've ever seen a PVC ratcheting cutter, a pipe ratcheting cutter, that works pretty good. It cuts a nice clean line. You can use one of your tube cutters. If you've got one of the spiral tube cutters, it does a decent job out of it. And we run them through a die too. We made a die. I don't expect you to make a die, but
yeah, I think the hand crank thing is probably the easiest. You can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. I think it works pretty. I don't think they're too expensive. Maybe $10 to 15. But if you're making a lot, then it's definitely worth it, I think.
Yeah.
MK Gadget says, "I dig free plans."
Nice.
That's cool. It's to me, it's going to be another exciting part of the community. You see a cool hack, but then you see a really awesome build, and you can pull inspiration, like Dave was saying, if you just download the instructions just to get inspiration from it, to see how somebody made a connection and how they pulled off, a door in their build or something like that. I think it'll be another exciting kind of aspect to the community and the helpfulness that we strive to have. Let's see. Raymond said, pre-cut pipe would limit the flexibility. A lot of designs will be modified to fit the maker's need. That's true. That's another good point. I think a lot of kits will be that way, where somebody could customize the dimensions and just use the same connectors in the same spots, within reason, of course. I mean, you can't change a 24-inch pipe to a 10-foot pipe, but within reason, you'll be able to customize the dimensions to kind of fit your needs. So that's a good point. But if people aren't going to do that, or they're just looking to build the exact same thing, like the Coolaroo dog bed is a good example. Like, it's made for the large replacement. Like, that's a kind of a set thing. So I think that's one of the ones we'll include the pipes for, just because if you want to make that large covered dog bed, you can do that really easily.
Right. And I mean, it's by all means, it's not a requirement, right? I think it's one of those nice things to have if somebody values that convenience.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be totally wrong about this. No one might be interested in it. I would cut the conduit myself, but in talking about this, some of the feedback has been just, if I love Alex's dog bed and I think that's exactly what I want, and I just want to get that, right? Like, that's a convenience thing, so get the pipe. Could be something. I don't know.
We've got Alex Lindsay in the chat, said AR with video, augmented reality. We actually joked about that, so I don't know if anybody...
Well, Alex is from Office Hours. He is he's the leader of Office Hours.
Yeah, it's
community.
Great to have him here in the chat.
Yeah, that's awesome, Alex. Thanks so much for stopping by. And he talked about this a little while. I spent some time with the Office Hours community, which, if you haven't seen them, they are a group of audio video gurus production. A lot of knowledge in that community, and they have this really cool thing where they meet every day over Zoom, and there's hundreds of people in this community, and they all meet for Office Hours. And you can check out some of their videos on YouTube. But Alex was kind enough in the community to invite MakerPipe in. He's building his new studio, his new video production studio, out of a lot of different things, but also MakerPipe. And we talked a little bit about that. So check out that video if you're interested in seeing a long form kind of discussion. But Alex has a model of his new studio and different things where you can load it into your iPhone and then see it in augmented reality, which definitely want to check that out when I get some time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thanks for stopping by, Alex. That's really awesome of you.
Javier said, print at home at your own risk, less trash, better world. Yeah, I think Yeah, that could also be another option that says, hey, do you want these downloaded, or do you want to print them yourself, or do you want them included? Could be another checkbox that's there.
Sure.
If somebody,
These are great ideas. Thanks everybody for these ideas.
Yeah, Axel said some dinosaurs still like paper plans.
Yeah.
Warren said, I feel like conduit should be bought locally. That way it's not a limited size. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, it's something that we'll test, like Dave was saying, and we'll see how people react. If it's helpful, then that's great. If it's not, then it's not something. It'll be a with or without kind of thing. If you want to, then we'll have it available to make it easier. But if not, then no worries at all. We encourage cut, local pipe, cut your own pipe.
Right, and I mean that's the whole idea that we've had in the first 5 years of Maker Pipe was like, why would I want to ship pipe in the mail? It seems totally wasteful. I just don't want to exclude anybody out of the conversation and make it easier to build cool things. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Let's see. We've got Raymond said a printed copy with the kit would be helpful. It's easier to reference when working on the project. But access to downloadable instructions would also be helpful in case something happens to the printed instructions, like I'm thinking spilled coffee. Yeah, you don't want to spill coffee on your only copy, so definitely have them available.
What are some how-to instructions without some spilt coffee on it?
For you to find like 5 years later, you're like,
yeah, they get dirty. Get some conduit dust and spill. But hey, look, we got MIA Microflight stopping by.
Nice. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Glad you could stop by.
Yeah.
Said, hi, guys. Love the parts. Thought I would stop by to say hi and see what this is all about.
Thanks for stopping by. Great to hear from you again.
Yeah, so those that may be joining late, so the announcement was community kits. So these are new kits that are based off of community builds. So we'll be kind of working with community members, you could say, to kind of make instructions and make it really helpful for people to finish a build that somebody else already has a good solution for.
Right. And again, totally downloadable instructions on the website. Like MK Gadgets, he's got a bunch of connectors and he just wants to download the plans. Absolutely. Go to the website and you'll be able to download the plans and get started on the project of your choosing.
Right. Yeah, totally free. Just download them. Just so like if you're MKE and you've got a ton of parts laying around, then you can download the instructions and work to build it.
Oh, we got another PEX tubing question about
I think it's the same question. I misunderstood. He's looking to make longitudinal cuts instead of slicing through it.
Mm.
So we've used it depends how long that the kind of the slit that you're trying to make is, because whenever we used to make the shims with the ratcheting cutter, if it was short enough, you could kind of put it in longitudinally or I can't say this.
Longitudinally. Lengthwise.
And then crank down on it if it was short enough. Otherwise, we would use a box cutter and just very, very carefully slice it downward.
Right. That wasn't a great method, but it was how we started.
It would work. Yeah.
And that's what you're looking at. These are just PEX tubing that just happen to be the perfect size. But we've since made a die that kind of chamfers, opens up and if you guys have bought the shims, it kind of crafts it a little bit more, makes it more useful. Which we found out, who said this? I think it was Mike in the shop. He said they also would be great clips for fabric or plastic onto conduit. And he's right. We tried it. It worked out good.
Yeah.
But, Mike, just, be careful with one of those ratcheting cutters.
And if it's short enough, then try to flip it over in the cutter and try that. I found that worked, but it just has to be the right length to fit inside the slot there.
If the internet wasn't so slow, I'd bring up that PVC cutter.
We also found an electric PVC cutter, which was pretty nifty.
Oh, yeah.
Uses drill batteries.
Who doesn't want to buy another battery operated tool. Yeah. Look at this. It's not even loading. All the bandwidth's going to just keeping our
Stream
picture.
up
Yeah.
the camera.
Whoops. Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Thanks for being patient. But yeah, these things are great. You just keep ratcheting, and they do a great job at cutting.
And if you look at the yellow one, there's like quite a big gap there. So I found that if you just kind of flip over the shim, set it in there, you could cut longitudinal.
Oh, you're so close to that.
I know. I'm probably saying it right, but I'm just saying it so slow that it's wrong.
Longitudinally. Nope, that was wrong.
I think it's
again.
longitudinal. Anyway, try that. If it's short enough, try that. You can also use, I think the box cutter that's what we used to use a lot. So
you know what we should do? We should lend out tools. You ever seen those tool services where like you can send away from the tools and then return them? That would be wild. Rental tool service. If you need a PVC cutter, we got you covered. We'll send one out. Just a $500 deposit, and then you send it back to us.
MIA said, "Thanks, guys. Great idea. Not everybody can cut pipe or has access to tools." That's a good point. I mean, maybe ordering the conduit pre-cut could also save money if you don't have to buy a pipe and tube cutter, which are not too inexpensive. But in that case, all you would literally need would be the 5mm hex wrench once you get your kit and put it all together.
Yeah,
because that's kind of our thought for the community kits is kind of bridging the gap between the two types of people that we've seen, the tinkerers and the makers who have an idea and solve that, and then the other type who has that same idea but doesn't quite know how to get there. They're kind of more beginners. Doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to finish their project idea, but try to make it easy for them to be able to finish it and kind of have a solution for those people.
So Mike was saying that he was just checking on the behalf of somebody else, but he made his own fixture to cut PEX shims on your bandsaw, which that's great. I mean, we sell shims, but as just a convenience, really. I think the cool thing about it is that it's an ordinary material you can go get and just do it yourself. That's even better.
For sure. Raymond said, longitudinally. Longitudinally. That is wow.
Wait, say it quick.
Longitudinally. Longitudinally.
There you go.
Longitude. Okay.
All right, let's give Jake a round of applause, people. Longitudinally. That helps me too.
Nice. You learn something new every day.
We do. I feel we learn more on these live streams, especially with Sparky.
Boy, yeah, I know.
We learned a lot that day.
Yeah, we were very close to Fire Marshal Bill kind of show here.
No. We've got the community to support us. We appreciate you guys.
Shout out to Bob and Axel and Randy.
For pronunciation and electrical safety. Appreciate it. So, what do you say, Jake? I think this is a good time to end it. Thanks everybody for sticking around. Anything else that you wanted to cover, Jake?
Just that we're really excited for this. Again, it's just kind of another step to just help more people make something. And we appreciate it. They're community kits, so we need a community help to kind of bridge that gap and help more people. So if you have a build that you've done in the past and you want to turn into instructions, or because we'd love to feature any build. So if you have a build you've done in the past, or if you're building something in the future, just document a few things, snap a couple pics, and make some instructions, and we'll take care of the rest and kind of amplify that to more people and help more people solve their problem.
Yeah. And we're working on some cool little gifts too, as the thank you for creating a community gift. It's the least we can do. So we're not ready to talk about that just yet, but we want to have a nice thank you from Maker Pipe. Just a little something if you go through the effort of making the kit. But I think really and truly, from the people that I talk to that want to do a project, like helping those people out is really a great thing.
It's really rewarding.
Yeah,
to
they
help somebody.
appreciate that, and of course we appreciate you putting time into that. So hey guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. This was a great live stream. We're so excited for community kits. Jake is gonna put it live on Saturday. We're gonna have about a dozen or so, maybe a dozen,
I think 10, right around 10
community kits
to start with. And it's an ongoing thing. So, if you've got to build a month from now that you're thinking about doing,
Yeah.
send them in anytime.
Right. Download the link for the community kit document in this description and fill it out. Send it to us. We'll make a community kit with some photos. Truly appreciate it. So thanks, everybody.
Real quick, sorry, one
Yeah.
last thing. The poll that you put up, would you be willing to make a community kit, open to making a community? We had 14 votes. 93% said yes, 7% said no. So I think that's about a 13-1 kind of division.
Yeah, you
So
guys
that's
are
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, the community, we couldn't do anything without the community. So thanks, everybody.
Yes. Thank you very much. Looks like we froze. That's a horrible.
Did we?
Yeah. What are you seeing?
It's froze.